Hello everyone and welcome to the JoVon Lachey show. Today we're going to be talking about the Usher Raymond versus Tameka Foster Raymond child custody battle and the tragic accident of their son Usher Raymond V. Remember that you can follow me on Twitter. You can also follow me on Tumblr and right here on YouTube at JoVon Lachey. Lachey is how you're going to spell Lachey. So J-O-V as in Victor, O-N-L-A-C-H-E-Y. Please be sure to like this particular video and also subscribe to my channel. There's lots of things to come in the very near future. So let's talk about this case here. We're actually going to start from the beginning. Usher Raymond, we all know him as the Grammy Award winning pop recording artist. Started out in the R&B genre and he has been progressing higher and higher ever since. And also his ex-wife Tameka Foster Raymond. So these two, they were married back in 2007. They filed for divorce in 2009. So last summer, about this time, they were going through the custody battle for the two children that they have together, Usher V and also Nayvid. So they went through a long, drawn-out, drama-filled custody battle last summer. Accusations were thrown by both sides. Tameka claimed that Usher was too focused on his career to be a good father and that he used drugs in front of the kids. Now that is a large accusation to throw at a parent, that they actually used drugs in front of the children. Usher, he claimed that Tameka was inattentive and that she was irresponsible, and his defense team, they alluded to the possibility that she suffered from some mental instabilities. So in August of 2012, the presiding judge over that case granted full custody to Usher. So the two boys went to Usher. He is the primary custodial parent, while Tameka, she did retain some custodial rights, meaning that she was able to visit with her two sons, but the full details of that arrangement were never released. So we don't actually know how many rights or how far Tameka's parental rights go in regards to her two youngest sons, the two sons by Usher. So nearly a year ago, Tameka's son, her 11-year-old son, Kile Glover, her son by Ryan Glover, he died from injuries that he suffered when he was ran over by a jet ski at Lake Lanier, that's a little northeast of Atlanta. So we arrived at another water-related tragedy involving one of her children, and this is prompting, or had prompted, the new custody battle between her and Usher. So on Monday, August the 5th, it was reported that Usher Raymond V, the oldest of their two children together, fell to the bottom of the pool at Usher's Alpharetta, Georgia home. And according to an Atlanta police report, a housekeeper tried to unsuccessfully free him. But thank God there was a contractor there doing some work at the home, and he was able to pull the little boy from the bottom of the pool and perform CPR on him. So he was caught in one of those drains, you know, the drains that recycle the water throughout the entire pool there. He was caught inside one of them. They say that he was there for about 2 minutes, but a contractor was able to pull him up from the bottom of the pool. They also say that little Usher was conscious, he was alert, and he was breathing when the emergency medical workers arrived, and the boy was placed in intensive care at a hospital and he was treated there for his injuries. Now Tameka, she goes and she requests an emergency custody hearing on Tuesday, the day after her son was pulled from the bottom of a pool and rushed to the ICU unit at a local hospital there. So instead of her, worrying about the safety and the well-being of her son, she goes and she requested an emergency custody hearing. After a hearing that took place this week, both her and Usher took the stand. A Fulton County Superior Court judge by the name of John Goger, he dismissed her request yesterday for her temporary primary custody and decision-making authority. So he totally dismissed her request to become the primary parent for the children. The judge said that based on the evidence at the time of the hearing, that he wasn't certain that anyone could have prevented this tragic accident from happening, but he did advise Usher to keep Tameka abreast of where he is at all times and when he's not with the children, who is actually going to be watching the children. So after the judge issued this ruling, Usher, he actually approached Tameka and he gave her a long hug, and he, tried to console her, I guess, to the best of his abilities, given the circumstances surrounding them having to appear in court. But based on her body language, you can tell that Tameka was not happy at all with the decision that the judge made. She was very withdrawn. She had a very sad look on her face, and she just looked completely, utterly defeated. You did kind of feel bad for her, but at the same time, who goes and tries to seek custody at a time like that? If you were going to go and seek custody, you could have waited some time to try to do such a thing. I would think that a parent would want to make sure that their child is 100% recuperated before they would put themselves and also their family through that type of situation. So the filing had said that Usher suffered a near-death accident while he was left unsupervised at Usher's home when he was out of town. Now, contrary to what Tameka claimed, that was the claim that she made. Usher's aunt, Rena Oden, she was poolside there with the children when little Usher became stuck in the drain, and that Usher was not out of town, that Usher was only one exit down the highway at a recording studio. So he was only one highway exit away. He was in town, he was not out of town. So rather than being grateful that her child had survived, Tameka, she used this new episode as an opportunity to revisit the custody battle and gain some type of publicity. And this is what Usher's lawyer said. Tameka, she went as far as posting a picture of the child in the hospital to her Instagram account. Now, I know a lot of you all saw this picture right here. And along with the picture, this is what Tameka had to say. She says, "My favorite 5-year-old. What a blessing. I have always loved and appreciated my sons, but tragedies and close calls make this even more evident." Now, that wasn't a stunt. I don't know what is. Again, I don't know what's going through Tameka's mind when she's trying to go for these custody battles and the tactics that she's using. I don't understand. Why would you, in any good taste, post a picture of you holding your son in your arms while he's in the hospital? The little boy, he doesn't even look like he's all the way present there. I just don't understand, and I can kind of see why the judge dismissed her case promptly. So Usher, he also released a statement to the public, and he had this to say in his statement. He said that, "I'm blessed and fortunate to say that my son Usher V is doing well and is recovering. I am overwhelmed by the outpouring of prayers, love, and support for my family's well-being." Now, Tameka Raymond, or Tameka Foster Raymond, you see she hasn't let go of that Raymond last name. Okay, even though they're divorced, she's still holding on to that Tameka Raymond. She is a hair and wardrobe stylist, and again, like I said, she appeared emotionally unstable, not unstable, but she appeared emotional during her testimony. At one point, she was crying so hard that she had to step down from the witness stand in order to regain her composure. And Tameka, she also had this to say about Usher. She says that he doesn't confer with me regarding anything. She says that she never knows where Usher is and where the children are and who's taking care of them. She says that Usher travels frequently and he uses caregivers, including his aunt, who isn't trained and qualified to care for her young children. The ruling judge said that he thought Tameka's standards for a caregiver was unusually high, and he pointed out that many family members leave their children with other family members, that is nothing unusual for a child to be in care of a family member. a family member. Tameka's lawyer also attacked Usher for not calling her to alert her of the accident until 45 minutes after it happened. So Usher, he said that he wanted to try and get information about how serious this accident was and how serious his injuries were before he called her. As we all know, again, Usher and Tameka, they married back in 2007 against his mother's wishes and against some of the outcries of Usher's fans. They went through that lengthy child custody battle, and again, Usher was awarded primary custody of the children last year, and he has retained primary custody of the children as of this past Friday. I know a lot of people go through issues with child custody, and they have to come to some type of agreement as to who the primary parent is. I remember talking to some of my female friends, and a lot of them, of course, are going to side with Tameka because they're females and they're mothers. But I think that these type of situations with celebrity men and with women who may not have as large a celebrity status as they have, they too want to be the primary custodial parent of the children. I personally see why no man cannot have primary custody of his children. If he's willing, if he's able, if he's capable, he has just as much rights to his children as a female has rights to her children. People will say, oh, well, a woman carries the child for 9 months. She has a special bond with the children. And that is 100% true. No one can argue with that. A man can never argue with that because a man will never know how it feels to birth a child into this world. But that does not make him any less of a qualified parent. And an accident such as the one that happened with little Usher could happen to anyone. Hopefully Usher has had the pool child-proofed and that this type of accident won't happen again. So best wishes out to Usher and his 2 little boys, and also to Tameka. Hopefully that she can refocus herself and she can become the best parent that she possibly can to these little boys in the shared custody with Usher. So again, this is JoVon Lachey. Remember that you can follow me on Twitter, also on Tumblr, and right here on YouTube. Be sure to like this video. Be sure to share it. Be sure to comment. I want to engage you all and talk with you. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about this case, and we'll be talking about a lot more things coming up in the future. Thank you.